Don't fade it on a track like this, 'cause the music makes me high. And if I only got one more night, I'm gonna leave out loud goodbye.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Mr. Von, Shut Up Sweatbox. We back, we live, we active. Take these virtual jabs here on the channel, yes indeed. We're here to talk about WandaVision episode 9, the season finale. Whereas the episode was called the series finale. Man, a lot happened. And a lot of people's theories got shot down, including some of mine. I ain't gonna front. Spoilers, of course. If you haven't seen the episode, why the f are you here watching a spoiler review? But, excuse me, I digress. Let's get into it. Where we left off in episode 8, Agatha Harkness had taken Wanda's children hostage and dubbed her the Scarlet Witch, and she was using chaos magic. And Monica Rambeau had been taken hostage by fake Pietro, and Vision was headed back to the scene, and Director Hayward of SWORD had activated the white Vision, the fake Vision, not the fake Vision, but they had reactivated Vision's corpse and turned him into white Vision and sent him into Westview. That's where we left off. Let's go. It starts. This episode got right into it. It got right into it. It starts with with Wanda and Agatha outside with their standoff. She hits Wanda with some low powers and tells the kids to run away, and then Wanda and Agatha start going at it. Wanda hits Agatha with some blows, and she realizes her hand starts to turn all gray and shit as Agatha's like absorbing her powers and shit. So she has a little square off. They have a little battle. Wanda hits her with a car. You know what I'm saying? She fucking throws a car at her and throws it. It sends her through it. It was awesome. It was such a callback to when she used the cars on Tony in Civil War. It was a total nod back to that because she just blindsided her with it. And then the also cool nod was when she looked to see if Agatha was there. All you could see was her boots stuck under the car like some Wizard of Oz shit. It was dope. It was dope. I was there for it. Then I'm sure I'm missing some shit. Cut back to then Vision shows. Then the fake Vision shows up. Then the fake Vision shows up. Then white Vision shows up, and she's like, "Vision, is it really you?" And he walks up and he's like, "Wanda." And then he just puts both hands on her and just tries to kill her, and he just tries to crush her skull, bro. And then other Vision shows up, and we got the Vision versus Vision standoff. It was a good battle, man. It was a good battle. I liked it. This was like watching the movie. They didn't scrimp on the special effects. The visuals was top notch, MCU standard, MCU level visuals. It was all dope. I was here for all of it. It was a great battle between the Visions. And as they went back to it, Billy and Tommy was back at the house. They showed Monica, who was being held hostage by fake Pietro. And she's watching it all go down, and Hayward and those guys are on the outside looking in, trying to figure out what's going on. Then, this is where it really gets good. This was actually pretty dark and emotional. Agatha starts waking up the other members, the other people in Westview, and making Wanda realize that, hey man, you're doing terrible things to these people, and these people are suffering. She wakes up Dottie, and Dottie's like, "My name ain't Dottie, it's whatever." I think it was like Betty or whatever. "My name is, and I just want to see my kids. Can you please let me see my kids?" One of the people was like, "Look, man, if you ain't gonna let us go, can you at least let us die?" And Wanda's like, "Look, I'm gonna help you guys. I'm sorry for all of this." And then she gets mad and she just starts choking everybody. I mean, she 100% straddled the line between villain and hero in this one. I mean, it was because she felt legitimately bad for what she was doing, but then when she started choking people, it's like, I was like, "Wanda, what are you doing?" Oh, it was great. So then she finally opens the hex enough so the people can flee and they can run away. But as she did that, the minute she did that, Vision started to die, and her kids started to die. Let me rewind a little bit. So in the Vision battle, Vision was battling himself, and it looked like White Vision got the upper hand for a minute. So Vision said, he was like, "Why are you doing this?" And Vision was like, "My program is to kill the Vision." He said, "I ain't even the real Vision, man. I'm a figment of this crazy woman's imagination." And so they had this long philosophical thing talking about who's the real Vision. If you're the real Vision, then I'm the real Vision, the Vision, the Vision, Vision. And he said, "I've said the word Vision so much it's completely lost meaning." Then Wanda's husband Vision activates the lost memories that were still in the head of the real Vision's corpse of his time as an Avenger and all that. He unlocked all of that, and then he was like, "I am the real Vision." And then he just left. And he just left, never to be seen for the rest of the episode, so I'm sure that's not going to ever be mentioned again. We're going to see him again. So then at that point, Wanda and the kids teamed up against Agatha and the military, because when Wanda opened up the hex to let the people out, the military sword came in. Okay, also I'm all over the place. Let me rewind again. Outside the base, Hayward, let's just be clear about it. Hayward was a villain. If he wasn't a villain going into it, he went complete villain mode in this episode. But Hayward was talking to Jimmy Woo, and he had Jimmy Woo in handcuffs, and Hayward starts monologuing. Jimmy Woo was able to, get his little things, and he was able to get and he calls the FBI, and gets them to come in. He picked his cuffs with a safety pin. That was great. But then Hayward sends his troops, and they go inside the hex to fight Wanda and Vision. And like I said, when she opened up the hex, because the kids had went over to help her, because they had Billy Time, I forget which one's Wiccan, which one's Speed, but Wiccan had gotten the visions that she was losing the fight to Wanda, so they went over there to help. And then Vision showed up too, so it was all of them. It was like the Incredibles moment, where the family of superpower individuals stood tall. Excuse me. And so then, which was really cool, because they had the big final fight. We got a cool scene of Wiccan or Speed using his speed to take out the military while Wiccan kind of frozen with it. It was good. We got to see the kids use their powers. That was good. Meanwhile, at the house, Monica Rambeau, who's being held hostage by fake Pietro, realizes that Pietro is actually Ralph that Agatha had been talking about all these episodes. So sorry everybody, Ralph was not Mephisto. He was actually just some random dude who she was controlling with like a necklace. So Monica took the necklace off. He went back to normal. She left to go help out Wanda and Vision and the kids. And here's where Hayward went just completely villain, right? After Wiccan and Speed had disarmed all the sword agents of their weapons, nigga Hayward just pulls out a pistol and straight up tries to murder 2 children. Real or not, he didn't know. He just straight up tried to murder 2 children with a pistol. I mean, emptied the clip on them, son. And the only reason they didn't die is because Monica Rambeau, using her photon powers, stepped in front and she took the bullets, and then her powers saved her and everything and stopped the bullets. And then Wiccan stopped the last bullet with his powers. But then Hayward was like, "Well, fuck it, I'm committed to this villain life now." This nigga gets into an SUV and tries to run him. Ron tries to run him over. Literally tried to run him over. He was like, "Yeah, it's villain life for life, son. This villain life is all for me." And he just ran right in and tried to run into the kids. And then, of course, we got my girl Darcy making her only appearance of the episode. She rams into him with the ice cream truck that she had been in, and saves everybody. And she's like, "Enjoy prison." And that's how his story wrapped. That's how his story wrapped up, with him going full villain and trying to kill children. It was not a good ending for Hayward. So then the final standoff between Monica and Agatha happens as they're flying around. Oh, first, Wanda. I said Monica and Agatha. Wanda and Agatha. Wanda does the thing that she did in Age of Ultron, where she puts the illusion in the mind with the wiggly fingers. She did that to Agatha and brought her back to the Salem witch trials, and it was working. Agatha was terrified until they realized, oh wait a minute, Wanda's way stronger than you. So it kind of reversed, and it didn't trip, and then Wanda finally went full Scarlet Witch. I mean, after that, she absorbed all the powers, went full Scarlet Witch, outfit, crown, everything. Went full Scarlet Witch. No, hold on, not yet, not then. After, I'm sorry, I'm messing up, I'm all over the place. Before she went full Scarlet Witch, after the whole Salem mind bending thing, they had this huge sky battle where Agatha was like, give me your power, and you could tell every time she threw a blast at Agatha, her hands was getting, was turning black and turning gray and getting old and shit. And then so she's like, give me all of it. So she's just throwing the power at her, and finally it looks like Wanda's all wrinkly and withered and dying, and she's just floating there. And Agatha tries to use the power, and she's like, nothing happens. So you know how they do that with the nothing happens. And then she realizes that Wanda had turned the whole hex into a rune and made Agatha's powers null and void. Then she just took all her power back, and that's when she turned into the Scarlet Witch fully, with the crown and the vintage costume from the comics and all that. And as she was doing it, Agatha saw that vision that that Wanda had seen when she looked into the Mind Stone when she first got her powers. And it was that image of the Scarlet Witch in there. So she's fully Scarlet Witch now. She is fully Scarlet Witch. She beats Agatha. She turns Agatha into the character of Agnes from the TV show for permanently. To keep her there, though, she keeps Agatha alive. And in Lex, if I need you, I know where to find you. So it's they pretty much made it clear that she's going to be like going back to Agatha for counseling, right? Then she lets the hex down. Then she just she releases the hex, and as the hex starts to shrink, you see everything going back to regular Westview. And her and Vision and the kids go back to the house as the hex continues to shrink, because it's taking some time, so they have time. And she has time, and she puts the kids to bed, and her and Vision say goodnight and goodbye to the kids for the final time. And it was pretty touching, knowing that the kids was just going to disintegrate pretty soon. And you could see, as they look out the window, you could see the hex getting closer. You could see it getting closer as it was closing in. Then her and Vision go downstairs, and they have their final moment. Vision asks her, "What am I?" And she's like, "You're just you're a piece of the Mind Stone that was in me. You're all my misery, all my love, and all everything, my grief manifested." And then they say their final goodbye, and it was very reminiscent to the scene when they stood in front of the window in Avengers Infinity War. And Vision, as the hex goes past them, the kids are gone, and Vision's gone, and she's alone again, and she's standing on the empty plot. And it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. And then as she puts the hood on and she walks out of the town, all the townspeople who are now free and everything, they're looking at her like, "You crazy, you almost killed us." Obviously, they're not going to run up on her, but they're not pleased with her. And then she and Monica talk, and Monica's like, "Hey, I understand. I would have brought my mom back if I had those powers too. I'm sorry this happened." And her and Monica leave on good terms. And then she just leaves. The military shows up. They arrest Hayward. But Wanda just leaves. I mean, how they just let her leave? And she just leaves, and she flies off. And that's basically the end. We got 2 post-credit scenes, though. The first post-credit scene shows Jimmy Woo running the whole scene in Westview, giving orders, sending people this way, that way. And Monica's like, "Hey, you're doing good. Leadership looks good on you." But then somebody walks up and says, "Monica, somebody needs to see you in the theater." And she goes in there, and it's one of the scrolls, and she's like, "Hey, we heard you've been grounded. Well, we need you again. Somebody needs to see you." She's like, "Where?" And she just points up at the sky. So that pretty much sure it's Nick Fury up in the scroll base in space. That's the first Easter egg. That's the first bonus scene. The second post-credit scene shows Wanda off in the secluded mountains where she done built a little cabin, and she's living her quiet life. At least that's what it seems when you zoom in on it. It just shows her sitting on the porch drinking a cup of coffee in normal clothes. You're saying just living a normal quiet life. But then as you go in, you see she's astral projecting. Her real self is in full Scarlet Witch uniform, and everything powers out, and she's reading the Darkhold. And then she hears the voices of her children. "Mom, Mom, help us, help us." Mephisto, baby, Mephisto. And I'm just joking. We never know, but yeah, obviously her kids is not. That's not over. We're not done with this House of M remake. But man, this was a good episode, man. This was good. I know a lot of people are mad because so and so didn't show up. We didn't get this answer. You didn't get the answers that you liked. Fuck all that, son. This was great television. Bravo. The story of Wanda Maximoff. This was actually, yeah, this, like I've heard people say, this was a story of a woman learning to deal with her grief. And they did a great job. A great job. Where do we go from here? How does this tie into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness? How does this tie into Spider-Man No Way Home? Is it gonna tie into Falcon and Winter Soldier? Where do we go from here? We still got thousands of questions, but of course we do. It's the MCU. That's what they do. We got 2 weeks before Falcon and Winter Soldier starts. Whew. WandaVision, bravo. Bravo. This was a great show. So happy. I enjoyed the journey. 9 episodes every week. It was wonderful. What are we gonna see next from Wanda Maximoff, aka Fully Now, the Scarlet Witch? I mean, she walked that line of villain pretty tight. Hayward, he just dove into the villain pool head first and was swimming in it. But Wanda, man, what she did to those people in Westview cannot be forgotten. And I'm pretty sure going forward, we're going to hear about that. That can't just be forgotten what she did to those people. She ruined those people's lives. So, we'll see. What are your final thoughts on WandaVision as a series? Let me know what you think. Leave your comments in the section below in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Click those notifications so you know when your boy upload. Always stay ducking these virtual jabs because you never know when I'm throwing them. But make sure you check out the travel vlogs too, man. The Punta Cana trip was lovely, and I'm in the process of planning my next trip now. I don't know where I'm going yet, but we're going somewhere soon. Holla at your boy, man. Until next time, shouts out to WandaVision and MCU. Keep bringing it. Can't wait for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Until next time, you know how we do. Peace.